We arrived in Seattle pretty late, so we jumped on the Link Light rail from this weird station, which was also used as a bus station from 1990 to 2019. The rest of the evening was spent going to the dodgiest McDonald's I've ever been to. It was so dodgy they'd closed the seating area and we had to order through a window. The next day, we decided to take a trip out of the city. We'd seen enough of Seattle after the McDonald's experience. Seattle is located on Puget Sound, which is dotted with islands and peninsulas that are connected to the city by ferries. There are also long-distance sailings to Vancouver Island in Canada. We took the shortest ferry route to Bainbridge Island. The ferry sailed from Coleman Dock on Seattle's Waterfront, and tickets were around $10 to the island, with the trip back being free. The ferry terminal was redeveloped in phases between 2019 and 2023, meaning it was incredibly modern and had nice urban realm.
Not that automatic.
The ferry journey was around 35 minutes long and provided some great views of both Seattle and the Olympic Mountains. The main downside of the ferry was the strong, brisk wind.
It's a little bit windy.
On the bright side, Eve was suffering the wind effects more than I was. The Puget Sound is home to some incredible wildlife, including sea otters, humpback whales, harbour seals and sea lions. There's even been orca spotted from Seattle waterfront. What did we see? A couple of seagulls and a jellyfish. After 20 minutes or so, we reached the shores of Bainbridge Island and Seattle had disappeared into the distance. Take a video of it. Once off the ferry, we walked slightly under half a mile to the main downtown area of Bainbridge Island. While the island was still fairly car dominated, there were a lot of people cycling. There was some cycle infrastructure provision, like this weird cycle lane in the middle of the road, but cycling was mainly on-road. The centre was really nice, with lots of greenery and seating. I could definitely see myself sitting here with a beer. Let's be honest, it wouldn't just be one beer.
There's a so you can like mix shit in with that.
After grabbing some lunch, we went to the local supermarket, where we found some peak American capitalism. Sparkle syrup. Seriously, $20 bloody for glittery maple syrup. After that shock, I needed some fresh air, so we walked to Waterfront Park.
Second-hand clothes at a place like this.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be great. They're probably still out of your price range.
I was going to say they'll be regular shopping price.
Yeah. Pretty, isn't it? Yeah.
By this point, Eve was sick of me filming her, so she decided to film me, which she quickly regretted.
It doesn't spoke normally.
With that, we decided to catch the ferry back. I'd loved Bainbridge Island so much I'd decided I'd wanted to move there. Ah, maybe not. With fresh perspective on my place in the world, we jumped back on the ferry to a more affordable part of it, although still too expensive for me. Back on dry land, and we decided to visit the Skyview Observatory in the Columbia Center, the tallest building in Seattle. This offered views of urban sprawl and ridiculously wide highways. Luckily, the view of the lake, downtown area and Olympic Mountains made up for the flaws of the US.
Yeah, true.
We were told by the staff when we visited earlier that day to delay our visit till sunset, and it was definitely worth it for these views. And as the sun set, that ended our first full day in Seattle. The next day, unfortunately, Main Street was all cracked and broken, so we had to make alternative travel plans.
Monorail!
That's right, we were taking a trip on the less than 1 mile long monorail. The way up to the monorail looked more like a disused fire exit than a main entrance.
Oh, we made it. I was expecting just to come out in the middle of there.
As you can tell by my weirdly high voice, I was surprised to see a modern monorail station at the top of the weird staircase.
Danny, is it valid?
The ticket machine wasn't any less weird with its strange glowing buttons. Some very smooth ticket scanning by me there.
Right.
Unsurprisingly, I chose to sit next to the driver.
Yeah, just basically distracted.
Welcome to Seattle Center Monorail. Please take a seat or hold on to the handrail. Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy the ride.
It was indeed quite quick, but it was also awfully loud, which is strange as I'd heard monorails glide as softly as a cloud. And that was it. After 2.5 minutes we'd reached the 1962 World's Fair location. There we saw the famous Space Needle, but were too poor to go up it, and so instead I took Eve to see a modal filter and we hired some line bikes. Unlike UK line bikes, some of the Seattle bikes had an acceleration button, so I didn't even have to pedal. Eve's e-bike didn't have the button, so I got to wind her up by accelerating away from her. Bye! If you can't laugh at your own stupid jokes, what can you laugh at? We started the ride with a calm discussion on directions.
This is the cycle lane. Which way we go? What do you mean we're going the wrong way? We're going down there, aren't we? Why is it that way?
Direction debate over, and we were actually off. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice we're going in the direction I suggested. After getting cocky about directions at the start of the ride, karma came back to haunt me when I took a wrong turn, meaning we had to carry our bikes down these steps. Ride over, and we decided to walk around the University District, where we found this really pretty street. I love these kind of American streets that developed before mass car usage. They tend to be covered in trees and plants, and are all easily walkable due to a grid system. Unfortunately, everybody else likes this kind of area too, and house prices are averaging over $1 million as a result. As we continued walking, I spotted this crazy looking cycling junction, before we arrived at the main retail area of the University District. The area was fairly mixed, with some rougher parts, but also some modern looking apartment buildings. The street around the Link light rail station was nice though, with seating for businesses, a bus gate and greenery. That's got to be a transport planning full house. Continuing our whirlwind day, we jumped back on the LRT. Seattle's transport wasn't as easy as Portland, as you couldn't use your bank card to pay, but you could use an Orca card, which was valid on all of the main modes of transport. It also allowed free or cheap transfers between modes within 2 hours of tapping, and capped payments at around $6 a day. Seattle's transport system was fairly extensive, mainly due to the Green Link LRT line, which has steadily been extended to the north and south since opening in 2003. A second line has also been opened and is in the process of being extended into downtown Seattle, as shown by the black lines. Seattle has one of the most ambitious transport plans in America, so it'll be interesting to see how the system continues to expand. Additionally, the city also has heavy rail services shown in light blue. This mainly runs during traditional commuter times. There are also 2 pretty small streetcar lines, and express bus and trolleybus services. After our trip back on Link, we headed to Pikes Place Market for lunch. It was a sizable market across multiple floors, so it was a bit of a maze. It's quite cool. We don't want to. Once we'd made it out, we explored the Seattle waterfront area more. The waterfront shows the real progress the city is making in terms of becoming less car dominant and improving urban realm. Yeah. Just over 5 years ago, the city removed the Alaskan Way viaduct due to structural issues and replaced it with a tunnelled highway. You can see here how much it dominated the waterfront. This has allowed the waterfront to be redeveloped, with the main focus point being the new Overlook Walk Urban Park. It seems like the internet agrees with me that it's great too. Away from the waterfront, there was further evidence of the improvements made since the removal of the highway. The highway ran through this area, passing very close to the nearby buildings. Now it's been transformed with cycle lanes and planting. My final nerdy transport visit was to Bell Street to see Bell Street Park. I wouldn't call it a park personally, it's more of a livable neighbourhood, and is similar to some projects I've been involved in the UK. It was designed with the community and opened in 2014. The project reallocated space away from cars to community space and included new planting, cycle parking and traffic calming. With all of this great infrastructure, you can see why Seattle has high cycling levels for the US, despite it being a pretty hilly city. To finish off our time in Seattle, we jumped on a bus to Discovery Park. At this point in recording this video, Eve reminded me exactly why I've been creating these videos. She said she doesn't remember going on a bus in Seattle, and she doesn't know what Discovery Park is. Okay, I lied when I said no more nerdy transport stuff. I couldn't not film that bus border. As usual, Eve, who had come to Discovery Park with me, was scared of being eaten by cougars. Although, maybe with good reason this time. That's up towards Vancouver that way. With the sun setting, we took a brisk walk down to the sea, before hurrying back to get the bus back to civilization. So is Seattle stunning? I'd say so. It's set in a picturesque location, and in terms of walking and cycling, it's miles ahead of most US cities.